Welcome back to the Manor. Entropians, Julian McBain here. And we are going to finally turn in the last step to the Cyrene Epic mission chain for the FAP, which is apparently not in my list that I can see. Well, none of that matters because the person we need to talk to is right there. So this is the end of what has turned into a rather epic quest line, which we all knew. I believe this was the 11th video on it. So what I'm going to do is... all finished. Great. You got to turn in your current refurbished. Yeah, here you go. Boom. And there we go. Does he have more? No, he does not. Okay. So that's it. That is the end of this mission. Now let's... No, I don't want to equip it. So now it does 18 to 24 heal per tick. It looks like you get 20 uses per minute. And you get heal by 150% of heal for 5 seconds. So it's got a H.E.A.R.T attached to it. It's very similar to, that's the T1A. Where did the other one go? Oh, I must have left it on Calypso. It's very similar to the one you get on Calypso in the Gauntlet, which is good. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to hop in my handy-dandy quad wing. Because Mind Arc was kind enough to start migration today. It is currently July 5th. You will be seeing this. Come on. Maybe I gotta move out of this area. There we go. It is currently July 5th, and I saw an ad on Facebook today saying that migration was starting. And I'm like, oh, fantastic. I wish they had announced this before. But that's fine. So we're saying farewell to Cyrene for a while. Goodbye, Cyrene. We'll be back. And we're going to head off to Calypso. Because migration is important. But once we're in space, I want to discuss this particular epic quest chain and what is going to come next when we come back to Cyrene. Because I will be back. And it'll be a lot sooner than the last gap. Yes, we want to go to space. Actually, I think this is going to be one of only like 2 videos I've done in space. Maybe while we're here, we'll do some hunting. That'll be fun. Where's the practice zone? Did they take out the practice area? The box for the practice area is no longer there. Something just hit me. Huh. So, do they... Yeah, the box for the practice area is gone. That's interesting. There have been some serious alterations to space lately. Number 1. First off, let's turn on course. We're going to take kind of a... It says lootable PvP, but this says it's not lootable. So I don't know if we're in lootable PvP or not. I'm actually going to waypoint out here. There's a server wall that's kind of weirdly shaped out here. I've run into it a few times because it kind of like bends in or some shit. So we're gonna kind of shoot straight out and then angle into Calypso. And the funny thing is this I'm pretty sure is supposed to be Crystal Palace, but Crystal Palace is not here. It's here. Kind of reminds me of those medieval maps. So okay, let's talk about the epic FAP mission chain. Overall, my opinion of the mission chain is good. The planet partner did a good job of designing and organizing it. It was long enough to make it feel epic, but short enough to where it didn't feel like too much of a drag. Now, keeping in mind that I am way over level for where this was really designed to be, Well, I wouldn't say way over level. It's probably for like a professional level 10 to 15. I was able to kill off most of the missions in a couple of hours. So, probably for every hour I spent, I did 2 hours worth of work. Just because of the weapons differences. Because I'm using 25 class weaponry for a mission that's designed to be, you know, fought using 10 to 15 class weapons. Okay, fine, fair enough. That also means I took less damage overall. But here's the thing. It is a fantastic set of missions for someone who is building an avatar. It is. I got a lot of skills playing that mission, and I'm over level for it. I think I started, I don't know, 74 or 75,000. I'm up to almost 78. So that's not bad. That is not a bad gain for a set of missions. It was always a consistent number of mobs that you had to hunt, and I think that's important because it didn't feel arbitrary or random, because it was always a fixed number of mobs each time. So I want to applaud Digital Scryers for doing it that way. It made it actually feel somewhat meaningful when it was the same number of mobs each time. Okay. The bad. Because for every good, there's always a bad, right? Okay. Let's talk about the bad for a minute. The barrier for entry into the actual mission chain almost made it not worth it. Now, I'm not saying it's not worth it. It's absolutely worth it. But here's the deal. You are going to burn through a boatload of PED getting the bone-in meat. And it had been recommended to me that I buy it off auction. I didn't want to do that, but honestly, buy it off auction. That's what I'm going to say. Let the people who don't mind grinding out the crabs do the work and just buy the bone-in meat off auction. It took me, I think, the better part of a month to get 75 bone-in meat, and that is just ridiculous. So, you know, that's just one of those things you're going to have to deal with. You're either going to do the long grind, which those level 3 Tide Claws, they have a boatload of hit points. They don't hit terribly hard. They do hit, and they will hurt you, but they don't hit terribly hard. But they have a boatload of hit points, which means you're going to go through a lot of ammo. Now, if you're out there to grind the skills, more power to you. That's the way I do things. That's how I think a lot of players do things. But if you're trying to make it to the mission chain and you have any sort of time constraint at all, just buy it on the auction house. It's just not, the time efficiency is not there. To a lesser extent, it's the same with the tree dragons, the monkeys, because you do have, again, a longer grind period, but they don't have nearly the hit points, so they're much easier to take on and grind it out faster. And they feel more like they're at the appropriate level. So it is far more likely that you will grind through the tree dragons in a reasonable amount of time than you will the Tide Claws by a long stretch. Piece of advice when it comes to Tide Claws: if you do decide to grind the Tide Claws, then please make sure what you do is that you find a place that only has the level 3 Tide Claws. Especially if you're doing this at level, because I had difficulties with the higher level Tide Claws. I think they were level 12 and 14. But even like, if it was the high, because there's a couple of really higher level ones there, and just that little bit of difference, it hurts. They will eat your face. So just keep that in mind. Now we are going to alter course. I wish I could use a joystick to pilot this thing. If I could use a joystick to pilot my quad wing and honestly like have all the functionality, a variable throttle, you know, rudder pedals. Can you tell I'm a pilot, or I was a pilot? I think starfighting in this game would be fun. And I know it's expensive because the Kismet lasers cost like 42 PEK per shot. But, I mean, come on. You're dogfighting. It would actually be more than just kind of standing at each other throwing lasers until one of you dies. That being said, since I've seen these alterations, I haven't seen a single pirate. Which means, of course, I'm going to get shot down today, but that's okay. What else? Oh. One frustration I ran into, and this is not on Digital Scryers, and it's not on MindArk. The resources I could use to find the mobs I needed were not necessarily up to date. Now, again, this is not on the game developers, because these are player resources. That's one good thing about Entropia Universe is a lot of the resources are player-based. MindArk came up with a rather revolutionary method of doing things, saying the players can do a lot. We're going to give them the platform to do it with, and what resources they decide to use is on them. But it means that they're not always up to date, and in this case, the locations of certain mobs, in particular, the big one I kind of want to hone in on is the bugger, because it took me almost 10 minutes to find the little critters. Crap. I can't remember which one they were. But anyway, the map didn't have an accurate location for them at all. And actually, there was evidence that they had been moved because I had several players direct me to a location that they weren't there anymore. So that means that throughout the iterative process of updating Cyrene, they had to move monster spawns, which, okay, fine, fair enough, right? But it meant that finding them was a little more difficult. So just keep that in mind as you go in and do the job. One more thing is that for the Nimitz, you really want to have a flying vehicle because the ones you need to shoot are behind the ones you don't need to shoot, and the ones you don't need to shoot are higher level, which means it's really easy to get stuck in a place where you don't want to be. Trying to think if there's anything else. No, I think that's pretty much it. So, okay, what are we going to be doing coming up? Migration started today. I am currently on my way to Calypso, as you can see, in order to finish off my Longtooth Iron missions. It's very important to me. Why is this important? Because I started it last year, and there's a whole bunch... Oh. Forgot to turn my cursor back on. Let's get back on course. There we go. Oh, crap. I wonder if I retain these next year, does it... I'm willing to bet I can just continue. That's amazing. Actually, that's friggin' awesome. Here are all... Oh, these are just global ones, too. Huh. I figured that since I'm in space and MindArk administers space, I'd be able to see my Calypso missions, but apparently I can't. No kidding, I can now see Crystal Palace. These are all the teleports on Crystal Palace. I can map in on Rocktropia here? I've been to Rocktropia like twice, and it was just to drop someone off. Like I did taxi runs, Tangerine Shop. I have never been to Rocktropia and actually explored it. Motorhead Stadium, Old Harlem, New Harlem. Okay. I might have to put this on Lemmy's Castle. I might have to put this on my list of places to visit. I know, it's a really popular spot. It was the neon guys. I'm sorry. I grew up in the 80s, okay? So now you can actually look at all the maps. That's awesome. That was always something that I found frustrating. Little too long. I can even see Next Island, and I've never been here at all. I've never touched this planet. I can't see anything on the planet, but I've never touched it, so that's fair enough. And then this is Foma. That's cool. Not gonna lie, that's cool. Here's Arcadia, but Arcadia Moon is not on the list, which is fine. Okay, now we're in true lootable PvP. But I mean, look where we are. Where's my space map? We are way out here before we hit the danger zone. So I don't know what Mind-Arc has done or what they're doing, if this is temporary or permanent. I kind of want to get into a dogfight in the yellow zone for lootable to see if it's actually lootable. To do that, I would have to carry something on me. I'm not too keen on doing that. So if I do, I'll have to find myself like a piece of dung or a bottle of sweat. I've got extra sweat. That sounds really weird. I could just bring a bottle with me and say, okay, shoot me down and let's see if you can actually loot me. But like, I haven't seen any pirates at all. And okay, to be fair, I know how to not trigger the pirates for being pirates, because they know if someone's moving before they're completely spawning in, they're probably not carrying anything because they have the confidence to do so. And they're not looking around for pirates because they're carrying stuff in their inventory. And that was actually something I learned from a pirate. Which, as you can see, I'm not carrying anything lootable on me. I've got some pills. These are not tradable, therefore they're not lootable. And that's all I carry on me. It's stuff I know for a fact won't drop if a pirate shoots me down. But I am curious. I also want to know why they took all of the mobs out of here. Is it because they increased this space where it's not lootable? I don't know. But like, it looks like the Arcadia practice area is also gone. All that's left is Gordon's Belt. And I know there are mobs that hang out around here, like in this area here. Because on my way to Toulon, I ran through them. Toulon, way over there. But yeah, I don't know. I also want to know what's with the random space. Like, this is... Well, that's Howling Mine. That's fair enough. That's where you do part of Mission Galactica. But, like... Whoa. Why did that happen? Oh, you know what? We hit a server wall. Okay. Continue on course. But, like, we've got this random space station out here. Hermes Space Station. I want to know what the deal with that is. And then I think this one here, Athena Space Station, is just in the middle. It's just there. And then this one here is Erebos Space Station, or Erebos. Do these have a purpose? Like, Zeus Space Station makes perfect sense. It's right outside of Gordon's Belt. Because it's right outside Gordon's Belt, you need a place to repair when you're hunting the mobs there. Okay, fine, fair enough. But I'd love to know what the purpose of the other space stations are. Like, you know, and this one's Entropia, that makes sense. Howling Mine makes sense. Toulon, Next Island. It's just, there's a couple random ones. Are they or were they planned projects that never were finished? I don't know. So, we're down below 4 astronomical units. I am really glad I don't have to fly this in a Sleipnir. Honestly, I would love to get my hands on an Equus, the big red quad wings that have warp drives, but they're stupid expensive. I can't afford that shit. Even if I could, I'm not sure I'd spend it on it. But, okay. I think I have officially run out of things to talk about, so sorry for the short episode, but I think it makes sense why this one's short. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. I really appreciate all your support. Make sure you visit my website, mcbainmanor.com, for my blog and some short stories, of which one is overdue. And don't forget to check out my sponsor, Critical Links, for chainmail jewelry. Guys, I really appreciate all the support. You all have a wonderful day.